Well, there's one thing about it, I'm not hyperactive. Now, my wife is. She has got more energy.
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the Wilson County Board of Education for Monday, November the 20th, 2023 to order. Members of the board and members of the community, this meeting is being televised on Spectrum and Green Light Channel 22 and live streamed through the Wilson County Schools YouTube channel. The public can also view the meeting through links on the Wilson County Schools Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages, and the Wilson County Schools website. Members of the board, what is your pleasure in regard to the approval of the agenda?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell,
I move that we approve the agenda for the November 20th, 2023 Wilson County Board of Education meeting.
Second.
it has been moved by Mrs. Powell, seconded by Mr. Breen, that the agenda for the November 20th, 2023 meeting of the Wilson County Board of Education be approved. What is your pleasure? Those in favor, let it be known by the sign of aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We are a six-member board tonight. Mr. Mercer is under the weather and not in attendance with us this evening. Members of the board and the audience, please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence to be led by Mr. Breen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda calls for the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes of October 16th, 2023, a regular board meeting, and November 6th, 2023, a special board meeting. What is your pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Boyette?
I move that we approve the minutes of the board meeting October 16th, 2023, and the special meeting November 6th, 2023.
It has been moved by, is there a second? I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. Boykin. It has been moved by Mrs. Boyette, seconded by Mr. Boykin, that the minutes of the October 16th, 2023 regular board meeting and the November the 6th, 2023 special board meeting be approved. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. Dr. Mills and Mr. Breen, if you would, please share the good news.
Board members, audience members, we've got several folks to recognize tonight, and at this time, if I could ask for Robin Williams and any other representatives from WEP to come forward, please. Then I'll get up here, I'll give you a chance to get settled, and I'll tell you what the hubbub's about. Selfie too, I'm sure. It's okay to come on up front.
Well, I'm sorry, let me,
No.
You have to stand in front of it, otherwise
I'm on that board.
Keep. I made the mistake of letting Robin lead them. We should have sent Will up first. Robin, would you like to recognize any representatives you have with you tonight?
I do. I've got Board Member Amber Lynch, Board Member Dr. Fitch, Board Member Dante Pittman, and Board Member Will Evans.
Okay. Now, everybody's in a good line. You good?
Board Member Dr. Mills.
Yes, but I have to function over here tonight. Okay. We are being recognized as members of WEP Board, but WEP is recognized for their Innovation and Excellence in Public Education Award winners. So tonight, we want to recognize WEP's Communicating with Confidence program for receiving the Innovation and Excellence in Public Education Award at the North Carolina School Boards Association Awards Ceremony on November 14th. The Wilson County Board of Education nominated the initiative because of how beneficial it has been for our students. Communication with Confidence was created by the Wilson Education Partnership in collaboration with Wilson County Schools. The program targets students in English 3, which is a class typically taken by juniors. Through the program, English 3 teachers embed relevant opportunities for students to practice constructing resumes, writing professional emails, and utilizing public speaking skills. The activities focus on setting goals, learning about college and career opportunities, and enhancing soft skills, all of which builds the confidence and interpersonal skills of students. The students are also paired with a business leader for a mock job interview, and the business leader serves as a vital resource and mentor. Communicating with confidence is unique because the skills are not taught in isolation. We all know that's important. They're intertwined with the curriculum. What began with one teacher, 42 students, and 10 business leaders has grown to 5 teachers, 300 students, and 125 leaders. That is impressive. We hope to implement the program into every English 3 class in the future. We congratulate WEP on this award and applaud every student, teacher, WEP board member, and business leader involved in the program, especially WEP Executive Director Robin Williams. They were surprised at the School Boards Association ceremony. We had to keep it a secret, but we did get them up there. It's the first time I've seen Robin not take a selfie on stage and know what to say.
Also speechless.
So congratulations. Feel free to speak now if you'd like to.
I'm very honored. It's a great program. I'm sorry. No, okay.
Amber, can I take the picture tonight?
Yeah. I think it's all about the students, and we have really changed the students' lives, I think. But, yes. Hey,
No, I'm good.
Mr. Boykin is coming up too.
Make sure you get my hair.
Come on, Mr. Boykin.
Okay.
Come on, come on. Mr. Boykin is an interviewer too. Come on. He's an interviewer. He interviews, and Mr. Breen interviews. Oh, yeah. So you join us.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
you'll have to stop
I'm good.
talking.
Y'all go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Whoa, whoa.
I can see.
This was a really big deal across the state for the program. It's okay to applaud now, too. You can applaud now. Thank you, Will. Good, man. Congrats, Robin. I can take care of that, too. I'll take care of that, too. So if you want to know how to get Robin Williams to be a little more quiet, bring her up on stage at the Corey Convention Center It works like a charm. Yeah, it's very expensive. And no selfie. I was really shocked. I would also like to, at this time, recognize one of our own board members, Ms. Deborah Powell. If she would come forward, please. Wow, everybody's being recognized tonight. We would like to recognize Wilson County Board of Education member Deborah Powell for her appointment to serve on the North Carolina Teaching Fellows Commission, which is a big deal as well. The commission consists of nominees representing various education stakeholder groups in North Carolina, which includes the state's teacher, principal, and superintendent of the year, the director of the North Carolina Teaching Fellows Program, school district employees, college and university deans, and business partners. The purpose of the commission is to recruit, prepare, and support students at colleges and universities in North Carolina so they can become highly effective STEM or special ed teachers in our public schools. Ms. Powell shared that she is humbled, honored, and excited to be a part of a supportive environment that elevates, encourages, and places teachers in highly needed areas in our schools. We thank her for her willingness to serve, and we know she will represent Wilson County Schools well. Congratulations. We're very proud of you. Thank you, Deborah. Do you have a guest as well? Okay.
This is my cousin, Angela Battle, standing up, and my mom, Jamie Powell.
By all means. We'll get one picture of this, and then you want to get your guest? Good. You want to get one with the guests? You go to them, we'll get one? All right. We can do that. There you go. Good job. And to keep the trend going regarding teaching fellows, if I could have Mr. A.J. Gunter come up front, please.
Y'all couldn't get him an LC?
Had to get here early. Get here early. All right. Now we want to recognize Wilson Academy of Applied Technology Watt science teacher A.J. Gunter for his invitation to serve on the North Carolina Teaching Fellows Advisory Board. The board is comprised of nominees representing various education stakeholder groups in North Carolina. We shared some of those earlier, but let's go through them again because it's a big, impressive crowd. State's Teacher and Principal of the Year, Superintendents, North Carolina Teaching Fellows Alumni, school district employees, college and university staff, and nonprofit education partners. The purpose of the advisory board is to advocate for the North Carolina Teaching Fellow Program across the state, explore opportunities for partnerships, provide ideas for program enrichment, and support initiatives for teachers. And we know that Mr. Gunter, who's extremely shy, who's in his second year of teaching, very shy, will represent our district well, and we thank him for his willingness to serve. Congratulations, AJ. It's much deserved. Some things need to just, fade away. Congratulations, AJ. I'd sit down with this next one, yeah. And board members, audience members at one last special presentation. Our final recognition tonight is a little bit different. Usually we present awards to staff, students, and community members during this time, but tonight Representative Ken Fontenot is here to present something to us on behalf of the state. And if you would, please come forward, Representative Fontenot. Get out of your way.
Thank you so much. While I was with Wilson County Schools, one of the groups I absolutely positively loved was the gentleman's agreement. And one of the wonderful things about our county is the example we're making. I was just in New Orleans this past week, and gentleman's agreement, that model has been adopted by one of their schools, and they now have man-to-man group. And so we see it expanding. And in addition to that, I'm working on an expansion of the WASH program, and you guys will have some more details on that as things come together. But I say all that to say, the state has allocated $100,000 for the Gentleman's Agreement Program that will be coming in the mail sometime in December or January. So I have a big check for you today, but I don't have a little one.
We'll take it.
That'll be coming in the mail, guaranteed.
Just the same.
We'll gladly take the big check today and wait the little check in
That's
the
right.
mail.
That's right. So we could have a picture. I would love for you all to be in it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be right
Members? That's a big one.
Y'all want me to? Yeah. Okay. I stand where I'm supposed to. That's right.
Please don't go anywhere. Dr. Mills?
It was way too crowded.
I don't either, but hey.
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
All right.
Always a pleasure. Yes, sir.
It's always good to have the good news. And this was indeed good news. We congratulate each of our persons being recognized this evening. Representative Fontenot already jumped out the door, but we thank him and his efforts, and we thank the General Assembly for the confidence put in the Gentleman's Agreement Program to give us this allocation of funds. Next is my report. And before, did Robin run out yet? No, okay. That's okay. First of all, good evening. And to follow up with Dr. Mills' recognition of the program from WEP, at the annual School Boards Association Conference, we always have art poster contest submissions from our students. Each year, the students are given a theme, and this year we had 27 honorable mentions. We have in the past had rankings of first, second, third, but we are appreciative of the recognition of the artwork of our students and to have 27 of our students who submitted entries be recognized. So even though they're not here, can we give a round of applause to each of our students? We certainly do thank, as always, Robin Williams and WEP for the splendid partnership that we share. And we are so appreciative that the efforts of the Communicating with Confidence was well received and got the Innovation in Public Schools Award. And thank you, Robin, and the tremendous board of Directors for the work on behalf of Wilson County Schools and the students in the schools. Now, on behalf of the entire board of the school system, I'd like to recognize and thank our own Amber Lynch for the outstanding job that she does in putting forth the good news, the shout-outs, and the various messages about the positively positive things that go on in our system and the community events that impact us also. In the last 4 years alone, this board has tasked Amber to write narratives for submission for awards to the North Carolina School Boards Association. And that work has not been in vain. We've had Christy Proctor to win for Champion of Education. We've had our county commissioners to be recognized as County Commissioners of the Year. We've had our Gentleman's Agreement program be awarded or recognized. We've had WASH clinics be recognized. Henry Mercer received the Raleigh Dingman Award way back in 2015. I think she did the nomination letter for me when I received the Raleigh Dingman Award. And again, this year, we have yet another award with the Innovation and Excellence in Public Education Award nomination that we just made note of. Yes, please join me in giving her a round of applause. I lost my place and had to skip to it. Thank you so much for anticipating.
Amber didn't write that for you, did she?
No, if Amber had written it for me, I could have followed the
You'd be
script
right there,
word
wouldn't
for
you?
word.
You'd
Yes,
be
I'd
right
be
there,
right
wouldn't
there.
you?
Yes, absolutely. But we thank you for all of the efforts that you do in helping us to shine and to be recognized among our peers throughout the state. And we thank you so very much for that. And my last item is to speak in preparation for this upcoming Thursday, which is Thanksgiving Day. And we are hopeful that this break will bring a much-needed rest, relaxation, and rejuvenation to our administrators, our teachers, our staff, our parents, and our students. It seems like just yesterday that this school year started, and here we are at Thanksgiving with only a few weeks left before the end of the semester. So I hope that everybody has a very happy and safe and healthy Thanksgiving to one and all. And that completes my report, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Mills for his report.
Madam Chair, board members, audience members, I want to go over just a few notes. I want to again thank the Wilson Education Partnership in another regard. Not only were they winning state awards, but they've also been awarding mini grants to our staff members. So 24 of our staff members in 13 schools received a total investment of $15,000. And that goes a long way towards classroom projects and other things our teachers want to do. And so the prize patrol, it's not the Publishers Clearinghouse one, but it's pretty close. Surprised the winners at our schools. And we had about 50 submissions this year that were judged by committee. The mini grants are made possible by the lovely spelling words at the WP Adult Spelling Bee and Trivia event. By the way, we still want more trivia, less spelling. Other fundraisers and the annual appeal for donors. We'd also like to thank Southern Bank and the family of Gloria Burks for funding additional grants. Robin is the driving force along with the WP board and everyone who contributes to WP for their support. It makes a huge difference for our folks to know that there are people who listen and support and do more than just walk away. They actually show up and do something about it. So their award is well-deserved in many ways, but their support of our teachers is paramount. So if you see them, thank them for those mini grants for our teachers, because they're used for a lot of different things. And that's another funding source for folks that are always looking for extra funds. November 17th was a very busy day and exciting day for us. Lucama Elementary was officially recognized with its National Blue Ribbon Award by the U.S. Department of Education. Students and staff wore blue, and Principal Sonia Grice, former Lucama Principal April Shackelford, who's now currently at Barnes Elementary School, and Assistant Superintendent Robin May, right here in front of us, made the big trek to Washington, D.C. to accept the award, braved the traffic and everything, I understand. A National Blue Ribbon Award is the highest honor presented to schools by the U.S. Department of Education, the highest honor. And so Lucama was one of only 353 schools in the nation and 8 schools in the state to receive an award. One of only 353 in the nation and one of 8 in our state. So we congratulate those students, those teachers and staff and families on that very prestigious recognition, and thank the administration and Robin and others for representing us so well, and for the students and teachers and families and administrators who put all that work in and made that happen. It takes everyone to do so, but that is an extremely rare occasion. We've had several happen previously in our district. Some sitting at this table have been a part of that, and that is a watershed moment, and it is something to be proud of. So congratulations to Lucama, and let's give them a round of applause for that. And finally, I'd like to wish everyone, on behalf of the administration and others, to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Please do take the time to spend it with your families. If anyone doesn't remember, we are not in school on Wednesday, last I checked. Anyone that doesn't know that, I think has been living under a rock, because I've heard more people thank us for not having school on Wednesday. So please drive safely. And when we come back, it is going to be even quicker, unfortunately, because the first part of this year has gone very quickly. And so we've got a lot to do, but this will be a good time to spend with family and friends and to get that break we need. So that's it.
All right. The next item on our agenda is the opportunity for the public to address the board. Each person is granted 3 minutes for his or her presentation. This portion of the meeting is for the board to hear matters of interest from the public. However, obscene or vulgar statements, personal attacks, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. Members of the board, we have 4 persons who have signed up to speak to the board tonight. The first is Will Edwards for the Wilson Education Partnership.
Thank y'all for allowing me to speak tonight. Wanted to come and just kind of share what my perspective for WEP. I have a unique perspective in the sense that I was a teacher for 13 years. So I was able to be a recipient of the benefits of Wilson Education Partnership. Received many grants. I was a part of several just luncheons and other things that WEP helped, and I always knew that they supported me as a teacher. So after leaving education and switching more to the business world, I realized I just instantly gravitated back towards WEP because I wanted to still be a part. Since then, I've been able to help raise money for many grants. Gig 360, Young Professionals has been a group that's been partnered with WEP some. Maggie Society fundraiser, we raised $1,000 for many grants. And we were able to take those many grants, and I was on the giving side of that. And it was just an awesome experience to see the faces of the teachers receive this funds, because I know they've got some cool ideas. I know they want the resources, and to be able to provide and help those with that and have those also, knowing what's coming out of that in their classrooms, it's just really cool to see. But I think the part of WEP that's been the greatest or the most impactful has been this Communicating with Confidence program. As a teacher, it's kind of easy sometimes to get a little jaded with the apathy of our students. You know, you try, you pour in your effort, you do everything you can to make them want to care. But sometimes, you know, it doesn't seem like they do. Maybe it's just my subject. But And so you get that jadedness, but being back and talking to these students and hearing their stories again and seeing what they go through and understanding that just that little 5-minute conversation that I'm having with that student or 10, 20-minute conversation can help guide them and find a light in their life. It can be the change as far as them understanding, okay, if I'm in an interview, I don't need to be nervous. I need to have confidence in who I am. And being able to develop those skills in these individuals can be critical to the life they have after high school. It could be critical just for them graduating. And so this program and what they do is amazing. I'm glad and honored to be a part of it. I'm honored for you guys to let me speak on that today. And just anytime we can, if you see somebody in the street, tell them how awesome Wilson Education Partnership is. It is a great group of individuals. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Aaron Lynch regarding community feedback. Good evening.
So I'm a part of the group Public School Strong Wilson County. We've spoken a few times to you guys, but I just wanted to speak tonight because we were fortunate enough to have a table at the Whirligig Festival, which was just a couple weeks ago. And we had several volunteers over the 2 days out talking to people about our public schools in Wilson County and beyond, because the Whirligig Festival, draws such a huge crowd. But we were able to get some feedback from people. We had a poster out. We had a question at the top. What do you like about Wilson County Public Schools? And on the bottom, what could be better? So I just wanted to share some of the community, comments about that. Up top, real big, the superintendent was one of the things that people really like, so I thought you'd be pleased to hear that one.
Probably must have been a family member.
Maybe, we did talk to some family members. Definitely the people, the teachers, some of the programs, were the highlights of people really liking about our public schools. A lot of the things that they would like to see improved are funding. You'll see that one. I know it's kind of messy. It got a little wet, and I apologize that it's hard to read for you guys, but funding is definitely one of the most common things that we hear from people. A couple people said they would love to see less screens and more books. So balancing that is an interest to some people. Teacher pay, teacher retention, those are definitely some things that are a lot of people, when we talk to them, were interested in seeing our schools do a little bit better on. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and extend an invitation for Public School Strong to see if there's any way that we can partner with you guys to celebrate all of the wonderful triumphs of our school system. And there are so many, but also work on these concerns from the community in sustainable and equitable ways that can make them a little bit better. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Next is Dr. Charles Bayo, School Policy Questions.
Hey, folks.
Hello.
Last week, I emailed to each and every one of the school board members 5 abbreviated passages from books that are Wilson County schools. These book titles are Forever, which is in Dardenvick Middle School Library, then several books in Fike and Hunt. First one is Sold, the second one is This One Summer, and third one is Crank. And there's another one in Fike High School called Tricks. Being a God-fearing person, taxpayer, and law-abiding citizen of Wilson County, I am compelled to bring this matter to the board's attention. As a school board member, it is incumbent upon each of you to thoroughly be informed about, to make a decision regarding their position on this very important public issue and take necessary actions. The North Carolina obscenity laws are found in statute 14-190.1, and there are at least 20 subcategories in this statute. Two subcategories are Statute 14-190.7, which outlines the criteria for distributing obscene material to minors under the age of 16 years, and this is a Class 1 felony. Statute 14-190.17A outlines the criteria for sexual exploitation of minors, and this is a Class 3 felony. I acknowledge that the North Carolina obscenity laws don't pertain to school board members. However, their immunity, or your immunity from these laws, is a sole barrier safeguarding you all from their impact. I urge you, the school board members, to examine the North Carolina obscenity laws and the abbreviated passages from these books. Once you have looked at these excerpts, I'll be happy to provide you with the complete passages from each book. I'm eager to share these with you, and I appreciate your consideration. Unfortunately, I've only received one response, and that is from Mr. Breen, and I appreciate that. The lack of response from the school board members to my email seems to strongly indicate your stance on this matter. It appears that members of the board are complicit with having these pornographic books in the Wilson County schools. Please tell me I'm wrong. I have a package for Mr. Breen, since you had asked for it, and I was hoping that you all could pass that to him so he can have a look at it. Can I? Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. And the next person signed up to address the board is Board Member Ryan Breen regarding Thanksgiving.
As we enter the season of Thanksgiving, I wanted to share some things for which I am thankful. I'm thankful for a board and administration that figured out a way to feed students twice a day for free so that we can feed those who are hungry. It's a program that can service 100% of our approximate 10,000 students. I'm thankful for a board and administration that established WASH clinics to provide low-cost, no-cost medical clinics for our staff, students, faculty, and staff so that we can help heal the sick. It's a program that can service 100% of that group, approximately 12,000 people. I'm thankful for a board and administration or hardworking school social workers, guidance counselors, and principals that identified approximately 200 students that were in need of winter coats. And I'm thankful for Wilson Education Partnership, area business leaders, the Wilson Junior Women's Club, and every other person who donated coats so that every single student would be matched up with a coat in their size. By the way, Harbor Freight is still collecting coats until the end of the month. If anyone would like to help, Robin Williams would kill me if I didn't mention that. Together, our community has helped keep the children of Wilson warm together. I am thankful for an entire school system, students and parents for the record-setting performance last year as we surpassed almost every single conceivable metric for academic performance and growth. I am thankful to be a part of a board that works with administration to proactively identify needs for our students and staff to create a better environment for them. I am thankful to be a part of a board that works to uplift rather than undermine public education by utilizing our resources wisely. I'm thankful to be a part of a board that looks to the welfare of the entire district and doesn't worry about hypothetical harms. For example, a book called Forever at Darden, which has never been checked out since it was acquired. Or the existence of a book called This One Summer that's only been checked out 7 times in 3 years at Hunt, 3 times in 9 years at Bedingfield, and 0 times in 9 years at Fike. Or a book called Crank that has only been checked out by 6 students in 11 years at Hunt and less than 20 students in 13 years at Fike. Or a book called Tricks that has been checked out by less than 30 students in 13 years. Or that these identified books account for 11 books out of our combined collection of our entire school system of 189,236, or 0.0058% of our total collection. It is also worth noting that if the Follett contract passes later tonight, that these books are probably going to be removed, not because of any alleged obscenity or that they're obscene material, but because they are unpopular and unread. A board that focuses on such literally statistically small issues is one that focuses on undermining the public perception of public education. And the purpose of undermining public education, as we have seen across the nation, is to give people an excuse to find acceptable the continued underfunding of public education. I'm thankful that our board believes that we have to let parents parent their children and only intervene when a child's behavior interferes with the safety, welfare, and education of others. Having the freedom to raise your own children is tantamount to actual freedom and liberty, rather than pressing for governmental intervention. I am thankful that we are able to help as many children, faculty, and staff we can using the resources we have, but I am fearful of what may come if people continue to focus on hypothetical ills and problems. But most importantly, I will always be thankful to be a part of a board that continues to prioritize the education, health, safety, and well-being of 100% of our students, rather than the existence of 0.0058% of our library books.
Thank you very much, Mr. Breen. Members of the board, you have options in order to meet the responses of the persons who have addressed the board. You may, one, direct the chairman to respond to the concern on behalf of the board, direct the administration to respond to the concerns, refer the matter to a board committee, refer the matter to the administration, or place the matter of concern on the agenda for a future meeting. What is your pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Mrs. Powell?
I respond to, direct the, direct administration to respond to the concerns of the public.
Second.
Okay. Was that a motion or that a
No,
statement? Okay. If that is the consensus of the
Should
board.
roll.
I know.
It did start out like that, but.
It's okay, that's okay. Dr. Mills, you have the directive of the members of the board to respond to the concerns as presented by the public.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Next, we're at the committee meetings. In Mr. Mercer's absence, committee member Blake Boykin will present the report for the Administrative Services Committee. Mr. Boykin?
Madam Chair, the
Yes.
Administrative Services Committee met today at 3:30. In attendance was myself, Mr. Breen, Ms. Powell, and of the larger board, Ms. Boyette and Dr. Fitch. We had 2 informational items and 1 action item today. The first informational item was the 2022-2023 audit report. Our audit report came back clean, and there were no discrepancies, so had a really good report. The second informational item was Wilson County Schools' disposal of surplus property report. And we had a sale on October 7th of 2023 at Winstead Elementary School and Frederick Douglass Elementary School. There were 2 categories. One was school nutrition, where we sold $14,277.25 worth of surplus. And the second was the local, mostly surplus furniture, that we sold $3,233.48 for a total of $17,510.73. Moving to the 1 action item that we had, it was the Hunt School track construction. And we had a contract for it, and I'm going to let Dr. Williams explain the contract.
Thank you, sir. For the Hunt High School track construction, the contract is for Berry Building Group. Contract is for $2,045,700. And this is for the construction of the high school track and all of the items within the high school track project that we have discussed in the board meeting. Just to make note, with the contract, we did decide to take the lighting from Musco out of the contract, as we will do that lighting through Sourcewell. So that lighting will be $392.48 that we'll do through Sourcewell outside of that contract, for a savings of the project in that area of $27,516.
Excuse me, you meant 392,000, right?
Yes, ma'am. Did it-
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I
Did-
misheard. Maybe-
Oh, yes, ma'am, $392,484.
Does anybody have anything they want to add to that? All right. So on behalf of the Administrative Services Committee, I move that we approve the contract for the Hunt High School track construction in the amount of $2,045,700.
to the Berry Building Group.
to the Berry Building Group.
Second.
It has been moved by Mr. Boykin, seconded by Mr. Breen, that the board approve the contract of $2,045,700 to the Berry Building Group for the Hunt High School track construction. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously.
And that concludes my report.
All right, thank you very much. In the absence of Mr. Mercer, the next senior person on the board is Mrs. Barnes. And Mrs. Barnes, when I get to the action item for the Instructional Services Committee, I will turn the meeting over to you for carrying or for the action to be made in motion for. The Instructional Services Committee met this afternoon, and we had several informational items and two action items. The first informational item is a contract requiring no action. It's information only because the amount of the contract is less than the threshold of $90,000. It is for the 95% group in the amount of $65,000, with the service to be provided being the coaching and follow-up support for elementary schools on site. Fee includes travel expenses. We previously approved the 95% group for the elementary schools, but because they have been subdivided to K2 and 3-5, we needed to go back to cover the 3-5 component. So that amount is for the continuation of services at the elementary level for the coaching and follow-up. Are there any questions? The next is the Restart Annual Report. As you are aware, both Barnes and Hearn were approved as Restart schools in January of 2020, and all Restart schools must submit an annual report to the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction by the 1st of December. The report for the 22-23 school year gives you information about the flexibility which was utilized, having been given to those schools that are Restart designation. You had in your material the acknowledgement of the flexibilities that were used, being budget flexibility, standard course of study, curriculum flexibility for both of those schools, with the categories to be used in various components. They also had a flexibility in terms of employment. So you have the information for both of those schools in your program, and this report will be submitted to the Department of Public Instruction by the end of the week so as to meet the December the 1st deadline. And I think it was said that it will probably go up tomorrow as school will be closed on Wednesday and the rest of the week. So are there any questions regarding the Restart program, their report? Next is a revised policy, excuse me, 3460, graduation requirements. This is a first read. There was discussion in regard to points made in the graduation requirements. The Department of Public Instruction is going to do a further dive into that particular policy as it is prepared to come back to us, so that it probably will have any noted changes by the next board meeting or at the first of the year. But it talked about the difference in credit requirements. We require 32 credits to graduate. The state has a graduation requirement that will be 22 credits. This will allow some students to graduate in 3 years, but there must be a declaration of intent to graduate within the 3 years. They also have put in some other requirements for students coming in the 25-26 school year. Our program of graduation, or our requirements, allow for there to be elective courses that are taken, and for the opportunity that when students do not perform well, they have an opportunity to retake courses. But again, this will come back to us at our next meeting, so please be prepared for that. Are there questions? Also in that regard, the administrative regulations were provided for us in regard to the policy 3460 graduation requirements. The administrative regulations will not come back to us and will be adjusted as necessary depending on the input given by the State Department of Public Instruction. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll move to the action items, and Mrs. Barnes, I will turn the meeting over to you for the purpose of my making motions for action to be taken.
Thank you, Dr. Fitch. We'll hear from you, your action.
Okay. There were 2 contracts requiring board approval because they do surpass the threshold of $90,000. The first is for Corner Flooring Group Incorporated in the amount of $319,450. This is for Media Center carpet squares. As you are aware, we replaced the furniture throughout the systems, classrooms in the system, and also in our media centers. The completion of that would be with the installation of the carpet squares. This amount, it would be with ESSER funding. And the second contract is for Follett Content Solutions LLC, not to exceed $611,339.87. And this is for library services, both virtual and in person, with materials being reviewed by the MTAC, Media Technology Advisory Committee. It is the recommendation of the committee that we move these forward, and both the Corner Flooring and Follett Content Solutions would be with ESSER funding. So on behalf of the Instructional Services Committee, I move that the 2 contracts, Corner Flooring Group Incorporated for Media Center carpet squares in the amount of $319,450, and the Follett Content Solutions LLC in the amount of $611,339.87 for library services be approved.
Second.
You have board members, it has been moved by Dr. Fitch and seconded by Mr. Boykin that we approve the Corner Flooring Group Incorporated Media and Center Carpet Squares in the amount of $319,000 and $319,450. And also the Follett Content Solutions LLC Group for virtual library services that will not exceed $61,339.87. Are there any questions? $611,339.87. So,
I was going, for
Go
the
ahead.
discussion, I did want to point out that those library services are going to be actual library books, most of them, and that the company was donating or throwing in some of the e-books to go with it, but these are actual physical library books that'll be going in our library.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyett. Are there any other comments or questions? If not, do I hear a motion, excuse me, I would like to have a vote of those that are in favor of those two action items.
Aye.
All in favor, nay. Let the ayes have it, and it will be recorded as a unanimous vote. Secondly, we have an action item that Dr. Fitch will share.
Yes. Members of the board, each year we have the school improvement plans that are presented. Those were shared with you, both electronically and in hard copy. And it is the recommendation of the committee that the school improvement plans be approved as presented.
You've heard the motion made by Dr. Fitch on behalf of the Instructional Services Commission to approve the school improvement plans for the year 2024.
I'll second it.
All right. All right, it's been moved by Mrs. Boyett and seconded by,
Moved by
I
Dr.
mo- I
Fitch,
move-
seconded by,
it was moved by Dr. Fitch and seconded by Mrs. Boyett and Mr. Breen, that we approve the school improvement plans for the 2024 school year. Are there any questions? If not, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Let the ayes have it, and the record will reflect that the motion carried unanimously. I'll turn the meeting back over now to Dr. Fitch.
Thank you, Ms. Barnes. I'm going to turn to you for your motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I moved that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and 6 and 115C-319 through 321 to consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statutes 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 1232G to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A3 and to discuss the handling of TH versus Wilson County Board of Education 23 EDC 04099.
Second.
It has been moved by Mrs. Barnes, seconded by Mrs. Boyett, that the Wilson County Board of Education go into closed session to consider confidential personnel matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and 6 and 115C-319 through 321. To consider confidential student matters as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A1 and North Carolina General Statutes 115C-402 and the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 United States Code 1232G to consult with the Board of Education attorney and preserve the attorney-client privilege as provided in North Carolina General Statutes 143-318.11A3, and to discuss the handling of the TH versus Wilson County Board of Education 23 EDC 04099. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Let the record reflect that the motion carries unanimously. We are adjourned to closed session.